Hello and happy National Healthcare Estates and Facilities Day. I'm here at the Grange University Hospital behind me here, and I'm here with our wellbeing lead, Helen. So today is an important day, so we're celebrating our teams here in Estates and Facilities. Helen, why is today such a great day?
Well, it's finally here, really, a day that we can celebrate estates and facilities. So at last we can celebrate what we're doing, how we've achieved things, especially like working through the pandemic the way we have. Coming together, working as a team. So it's been brilliant, really.
And so today we're going to meet some of the teams here that work so hard in the NHS. But what actually is Estates and Facilities? What teams are there?
There's a broad range, really, of teams that we work with. The HSDU guys, works in estates, porters, catering, domestics. There's a broad range, really, of everyone. Care after death.
And so why is the division so important to the NHS? What makes it so important?
Well, I just think we're the cog of this big, massive place, and we keep it ticking over, and we hold it up with our values that we really believe in. We're putting patients first, and people first, being passionate for improving things. I think we really are good at doing that.
Lovely. And so you really are from a great place to talk about this, because how many people have you talked to over the last few months?
I think for the last couple of months since I've been seconded into this role, I think I've spoken to 903 now. So we get in there, bit by bit and inch by inch, I get in there.
And so what is your role within this then? You've been supporting the well-being of all the staff here and being able to communicate with how they're doing at the moment.
So I go around and I walk and I talk with all the staff. I go into different departments. If people want to have a one-to-one with me, then I go and speak to them on their own to see if I can help them and signpost them really into something that they may need, or I can help the division, or I can help the wider workforce as well. You know, I've had other people from other parts of the division coming on to me, from midwifery and places like that. So I think it's about working together as a team.
You're doing some great work here, and it's really lovely to meet you today and chat to you about this. And we're going to meet some of the teams that Helen's talked about today later on. But one of the teams we've got here straight away today is with a brand new HSDU department right behind us here. So now this is Joanna here, and this is Carl here as well. And so Joanna, you are a HSDU supervisor, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
And yourself, Carl, you're a HSDU technician?
Yes, I am, yeah.
And so how many years have you been with us, Joanna?
I've been in HSDU for 20 years. I've been a supervisor for 18 of those years.
And so tell me what is HSDU to someone that doesn't know what it is?
So HSDU is a hospital sterilisation and disinfection unit. So any instruments that are used in theatres and in clinics, they come here after use, and we clean, disinfect and sterilise them, repackage, and then they're ready for next use then in theatre.
So you can see behind us here, we've actually got the brand new facility there. So it's actually quite amazing to see.
Yeah, it is. Purpose-built sterilisation unit. Usually those kind of units are integrated into the hospital, but this has been actually purpose-built for that purpose.
Lovely. And so you've worked here for 20 years, but you've also worked elsewhere, haven't you? At the Gwent, I think?
In Neville Hall I worked,
Hall,
yeah. Previously here, we worked in Neville Hall, and then when this opened, we came here.
Lovely, brilliant. And so we've also got Carl here as well. So Carl, you're quite fresh, aren't you?
I certainly am, yeah. Like you mentioned, the building is as new as I am.
Yeah.
I've been here for 3 months.
And that's how are you finding those 3 months? How has it been so far?
Challenging.
Yeah.
Exciting. Because you're learning new things. So. Yeah.
It's
interesting.
Is it quite a technical job to do?
It's not so much technical, it's more knowledge. Obviously, you haven't just got a pair of scissors, you've got hundreds and hundreds of different instruments that you have to learn.
So what would you find is the most rewarding thing about the role?
Knowing what you're doing in the big cog, that it goes out properly.
So it's quite important, isn't it, to have that work done, because otherwise, you know, surgeries might not happen or important things long down the line.
The importance of the operation going through.
If the equipment isn't there, then it can't be done.
Absolutely.
Lovely. So it's really great to chat to you both. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much.
And happy National Healthcare Estates Day to you, okay? And have a great day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll meet some of the teams next, and we'll see you later. Welcome back to National Healthcare Estates and Facilities Day. I'm here with Steve, who's actually one of our estates supervisors here. He's actually going to help us through and show us a little bit more about the hospital, the back end, the engine room of the hospital. But first off, what is an estate supervisor? What do you do?
maintain the structure of the hospital, and we look after the shifts to make sure the statutory PPMs are done and any reactive work, and try to keep the actual infrastructure of the hospital going so the medical staff can do their job.
So there's quite a few roles that come underneath Works in the States.
Yes, that's right.
So what kind of roles come under that?
As in, so you've got the supervisors, you've got the shifts.
Yeah.
So we've obviously got a shift of 16 people, and then we also got the staff, and we look after everything from fire lamps to water to the air handling units.
So you have electricians and plumbers on
Yes,
site?
we have electricians, we have plumbers, we have different grades of people and different bandings, different ages as well, so it's a good mix.
And how do you find it working for a station?
Very good. Everything's different, it's a full day every day, and you don't know what's going to happen every day that's coming, so.
And this was built as a state-of-the-art hospital?
Yes, it was.
You were here from the start?
That's what I came here a couple of months, about a year before it opened, to help witness and commission it and help to get it going, and I stayed.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
okay. Well, I hear you've got some big things to show me in this building
Yes,
here.
yeah.
So do you want to show us?
Yes,
Give
yeah.
us a show around. Stephen, these are some huge tanks.
Yeah, so we've got 4 sets of tanks here. So we've got the main incoming water there, and we've got the 2 main cold water tanks for the hospital. And we need to keep the constant supply. We use the water to in, so that's why we've got the 2 big tanks. And these are rotated every 6 hours. That one, and that one, and that one.
Yeah.
And then also we have 2 smaller tanks. These are Cat 5 water tanks. And these are for the mortuary and for pathology. So they all rotated there, and you've got the pump sets down there.
If we look in the corner there, you can see this huge scale of these things. They're massive.
Yeah.
Absolutely massive. And so it's quite noisy as well, isn't it? Because
it's not too bad. It's noisy here and there. But the water management is very important with all the issues you can have with the water. So we keep them well maintained, and we're checking them as well. So,
yeah. So what's the next door?
Next door is the main boiler house. So this is where we do all the LPHW, which is low temperature hot water, and we do all the heating and the domestic hot water.
And so it's quite noisy in there, isn't it?
It's quite noisy, so we'll just show you by the door.
Okay, so we'll have a look round, but we might not be able to hear anything. It's actually quite quiet here, but this is probably brilliant.
They turn themselves off. So we've got the 4 main boilers there.
Yeah.
And then also we've got the CHP, which is a combined heating power, so we get heating and electric out of that. So that's good for the environment.
It's a little bit bigger than what I'd have at home then.
Yes, that's right, yeah. And that's off at the moment because it's obviously works on demand. So we've got the four main boilers here, and they rotate around as well. So
brilliant, okay. Yeah. And so can you show us through the sides here?
Yes, yeah. So this control panel for the boilers. One of the main boilers, just you one coming now. And there's a circulation pump there, and you've got the main pumps over in another room there.
Brilliant, okay. Yeah, I can just see it's getting really noisy now.
Yes, they rotate around on demand and temperature, so that's why that was just.
So this is boiling water right away now to go back to the hospital?
Yes, yes.
Cool. Yeah. So it's nice to see the back end of the hospital, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yes. Not many people come down here, so...
No, so it's quite cool to see.
Yeah.
So what's on next? Can you show us the
yes.
that here as well?
Yeah.
So it's quite a view of them as well, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 4 down there and that one, so we've got to find all the space demands if you have a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah. So...
Well, thank you, Stephen. I think we might have to leave this because you can't probably hear us by now.
Okay.
But do you want to show us out?
Yes.
We'll go from there. Thank you, Steve.
That's all right, no problem.
It's great to see the back end of a hospital and see what goes into the work of it. We're going to meet some of the other Works in the States guys now, so follow me. We're at the back now of Works in Estates here, and I've got a couple of the guys here to chat to you about what they do in the division. Okay, so here we've got Robbie here. Hi Robbie.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm well, and yourself?
I'm not too bad, thank you. And what's your role here in Works in Estates?
I'm a Band 5 engineer, mechanical craftsman.
Awesome. So for someone at home that might not know what that means, what does that mean in terms of the hospital looking after it?
In basic terms, plumbing, pipe work, anything responsive that I need to be looking over. Should we have a leak or a failure in any such way, it's being that person to be reactive and to be available to put things right.
And so what kind of tasks might come up? What's a good example?
Day-to-day tasks would be a pipe which is split, a tap which is leaking, a waste fitting which has come adrift, in the dishwashing area, dishwasher not working. So public health is my main criteria, and ensuring that it complies with the relevant HTM.
And so how long have you been with the NHS?
Been with the NHS now just short of 2 years.
And so how do you find working for estates and facilities?
It came with a bit of a difficulty at first. I'm construction based, been in construction all my life, so it's turned into a full circle of all things, from building to maintaining. What I thought was a bit of an epic challenge initially, it's now become a task that is not only enjoyable, but it's also easy to deliver. So I'm in a good place.
And you started during a challenging time, didn't you? So
I did,
yes. During the pandemic. But
yes.
You overcome those challenges as a team, I'm assuming.
Didn't even think of it as a challenge. It's a day-to-day job.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time. Great to talk to you.
Thank you.
We've also got Eddie here as well. So Eddie is actually you're I think a maintenance assistant. Is that
a maintenance assistant, yeah, that's right, correct. Yeah.
Lovely. And so you've been for us how long?
I've been at the same time as Rob. We all started on the same time when the hospital opened, about 18 months, 18 months, 2 years ago, you know.
And so what does a maintenance assistant do?
But basically, I just help everybody else. I mean, as it says in the name. But the majority of the time is taken up with planned preventive maintenance.
Yeah.
Tasking, where obviously we've got a set amount of tasks which we have to complete to make sure everything is really working and running correctly, but also the responsive type of stuff as well, because we work different to Robbie. We work shifts and we work out of hours, that we get, like I mentioned before, that overflow sink might be a major event to the staff up on NICU, but it's not, for us, so we'll go up there and assist them, help them, do anything we can to keep the structure of the hospital intact.
So it's a good balance between stuff that you do routine-wise to make sure everyone's safe and secure, and you also do some reactive stuff as well.
Yeah, we do. I mean, it is quite good. The maintenance stuff we do, it gets a bit mundane. It's the same thing every week. Every month, I've just spent 4 hours checking the alarms on the lifts, which isn't very exciting, but it has to be done. Obviously, if somebody gets stuck in one of those lifts, we want to know that they'll be able to, contact help for assistance there. But the responsive stuff is good because it gets you some hands-on now, something to do.
And we talked earlier. Actually, you're actually a veteran as well, aren't you?
I am, yes.
And so we were talking about how
Yeah, the full protective kit, with the masks and everything. Take me back to my old days as a soldier.
So you used to wear stuff like that?
Yeah, same type of stuff in the army. Yeah.
And there's quite a few veterans as well in the NHS.
Well, my colleague who was with us before, Luke, he was forces. I'm not quite sure in this department, but I know throughout the hospital, even some of the nurses, I found out have been forces or TA or were TA, medical, people. Yeah, so there's quite a few of us. Yes.
And what do you think's the best part of the job doing this work?
I like the idea of helping people. I mean, that's what I like to do. So if somebody has a problem in the building, we can go there, and even if we can't sort it out at that time, we can assure them that something will be done, to assist them.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
To talk to you.
Okay, thank you.
We've also got Kate here, who's actually works with the environmental side of the division, don't you?
I do, yes.
So what's actually involved in that? What's your role within the division?
So I am the environmental officer for the health board, and we manage the waste and environmental services. So that includes making sure the health board's legally compliant in all aspects of waste and environmental. We also manage the patient home collection service. So that is for patients in their homes who require hazardous waste collection. We've also got a lot of sustainable initiatives coming on, so we deal with that. Any contracts, we deal with the waste contracts for disposal of waste services.
So we're kind of looking towards being a greener Wales, aren't we? That's the big thing. So and we've talked before about how there are some great things that we've done already, isn't there?
Yes, there is. We've got our famous Sterimelt machine. So that is where our polypropylene from theatres is melted down and then it's made into a recyclable material. So yeah, that is, and it's a world first. We were the first ones to implement that.
And what's the most rewarding thing about having this sort of initiatives in your role as well?
Obviously from a green aspect, it's always good to ensure and to help the health board become a more sustainable and green organisation. And my job is no day is the same. You can't guarantee what's going to come in. We might have to be advising companies or public on different methods of disposal to operational issues on site.
Lovely. Well, thanks for your time. Great to talk to you. It's not the first time I've heard that no day's the same in the States and facilities. We've also got our last person to talk to here is Rachel Jones.
Hello.
So Rachel, you tell us about what you do within the division here. You've got an interesting role, haven't you?
I have a bit of a varied one, but so I'm a health safety statutory compliance officer for working estates. So I get to deal with anything that's non-clinical. It's the easiest way to encapsulate it. So soft FM, hard FM. Predominantly I'm hard FM focused, but I'm part of the team, so we cover different disciplines. Except no day is the same.
No day is the same.
No day is the same, which is great for me. I love it.
So remind people at home what's the difference between soft FM and hard FM you just mentioned.
Okay, so you've got things like your portering services, your cleaning, your catering, soft FM services if you like, and then with hard FM it's everything from your minor works, which is fixing a door, to estates, which is reactive, which is Robbie and the guys, and then you've got capital, which is complete hospital builds. So yeah, I love dealing with all of it because there's just a huge array of legislation, there's HTMs, there's NHS guidelines, so...
And so what's the typical day like in what you do at the moment? You're very hectic, aren't you?
Typical day, it could be capital meetings to look at health and safety advice in terms of CDM compliance, depending on stages. It could be doing spot checks in terms of contractors on site. So I am not based at one particular hospital. I do travel around the whole portfolio. So you've got Neville Hall, you've got Estred. It's how long is a piece of string, but like I said, I love it because it's a bit of everything.
Lovely.
But yeah.
And so you've worked hard to be where you are at the moment, and you also, what I've heard, is you're an advocate for women as well. So you really do encourage females within the department to actually strive for going further, don't you?
Yeah, I think thinking outside of the box a little bit. I always say don't be afraid to ask. The worst you'll get is a no. Always ask about training, development. It's a really good department to work in. I'm going to be starting my engineering in September, which I'm really excited about. So background massively in health and safety and environmental, but really looking forward to that new part of the chapter as well then. So, and like I said, being really supportive. It's a great department to work in.
Of course, so that leads me quite nicely on to the last thing, just to tell you what is the best part about working here then?
Working with you, Doug, obviously. Just great team all round. I don't think there is a single site where the team doesn't pull together. You've got, like I said, you've got your soft FM functions, your hard FM. It's just a really lovely place to work, I think, in terms of camaraderie. And like I said, my team especially as well, I've got to give them a mention because they are fantastic. And just generally really good feelings every day when you come in. There's no kind of abrasiveness. Everyone's quite pleased and happy to be here and work for the NHS as well. It's the pride.
Lovely. Well, there's definitely a pride in this. I can really see it whilst talking to everyone today. It's been great to talk to you, Rachel. Thanks for your time.
No problem.
Next up, we're going to go over to there because we're going to go talk to the people in R&D. We'll see you there. Welcome back to National Healthcare Estates and Facilities Day. We're at the back of the R&D warehouse here. We're going to learn a little bit more about what happens in the actual hospital. So I'm actually here with our facilities manager. We've got Andrew here. So hi Andrew.
How are we doing?
How are you doing?
Not too bad.
And so tell us a little bit more about what you do. What's your role here?
So I'm Andrew Hayes, Operational Services Manager for the GUH, and we oversee the GUH and the support services within.
And so what's actually involved in facilities then?
So we oversee catering, portering, domestics, R&D and security, and to give an overview of them services, portering, we roughly do we carry out around 200 tasks daily, which range from patient moves, radiology tasks, waste, R&D, and also pathology tasks.
And so you've been here for quite a while, haven't you? You've been here from the start at the Grange.
Yeah, so I was brought in October to support with implementing the IT systems, Symbiotics. So I took over from December.
And so how has it been now compared to when it started?
It was very challenging, especially opening a new site, shutting two large A&E areas and having more come to one. Also, on the back end of that, COVID, and it's credit to all the staff and managers how far we've actually come in a short space of time.
And what's it like to work in estates and facilities?
It's great. Every day is different. It's challenging, but you can leave work at the end of the day and feel proud of what we've done as a team.
Lovely. Cool. So thanks, Andrew. We're going to go on to meet Kyle here, who's actually our supervisor here in R&D. So hi, Kyle.
How are you?
What is R&D?
R&D is receipt and distribution for the hospital. So all the goods that come in through R&D, they get booked in on the computer. Medical surgical equipment, operational equipment that goes up for theatre. Basically everything that comes through here gets sent up to the wards. So this is a really busy area, to be honest.
So even in the time we've been here, there's been quite a few deliveries coming through. What kind of numbers come through here on a day-to-day?
We're looking at maybe between 50 to 100 cages, and then parcels, special parcels. Then looking at could be between 200 to 300. All want to be booked in, receipted, and then delivered to the wards.
And this could be anything, can't it? So this could be beds, it could be
everything. Basically,
surgery.
Everything is like this, like the front door. I see it as the hospital. So everything comes through. It's got to go to the right locations. It's a really busy area.
Is it important that we have an R&D department?
Yeah, massively. If something doesn't come in, or there's a shortage of something, or we don't deliver something, there's a knock-on effect then to an operation going ahead. So if the equipment's not sent up on the right time, then that patient then is delayed then on the operation. So it's a key area, making sure all the goods are delivered to the right places at the right times.
Wicked. Okay. Well, thank you, Kyle. We're gonna move back on now, so we can walk through R&D as we go on to the next guys that we're going to talk to. So I'm just going to show us on to the next guys. I think we're going to talk to the chefs.
Yes.
So where are you now, Andrew?
We're currently up in the staff restaurant kitchen area up on level 1. This is where we provide a meal service to staff and visitors now. Downstairs, where we just go in R&D, that's where we do our meal service for patients. So we roughly do around between 400 and 450 meals per service. Up here, we provide a meal service breakfast, lunch and supper. So I'm going to hand you over to one of my chefs, Martin Hughes, where he'll give an overview of our service.
Lovely. Okay.
Oh, sorry.
2 seconds.
How are we doing?
Hi, Martin. Hello. How are you doing?
Okay.
So you're one of the chefs here at the Grange.
Yeah.
And how are you doing today? What are you doing at the moment?
We're just finishing off cooked breakfast, and we're just also in the middle for prepping ready for lunch.
And so I hear you've been here for a numerous number of years, haven't you?
I've been here. It'll be 2 years November coming, but I've been with the trust for 7 years.
So where were you before the Grange?
Ashramanic, YYF.
So how have you found it at the time? What's the best part of working as a chef?
It's just having a good team and a good work ethic and everything.
And so what kind of food do we make here?
We've got a range of different various meals, both vegetarian and meat choices. We have a 7-day rolling menu, which we all put on every day.
And so we also cater to special diets as well.
Yes.
So how do we do that?
That is in the patient catering. So they are things like low lactose, gluten free. We've got a range of halal foods. We've got a range of
So there's lots of different types
pureed
of
meals
things,
and things like that. Yeah.
And so a lot of this gets ready to go onto the trolleys, doesn't it? To go
Yes,
up to the wards?
to go up to the wards. Yeah.
So what's the process with that? How does that happen?
That is, we.
So
I've got to think now.
and so we load up the trolleys usually, wouldn't we? And then the hostesses will take them from there.
Yeah, we load the trolleys with whatever the menu is for the day, and correspond with the numbers from what the ward hostesses have asked for, and then we take them then to the kitchens by the wards, and then they're cooked there, and then we will do our final temperatures, and then we'll call supervisors to communicate with the hostesses to say the trolleys are ready.
And what's the best bit about the job? What makes you come to work?
You're always busy.
Always busy.
Yeah. Always. I like to keep busy.
Yeah. And is it a great team to work with for the Estates and Facilities?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thanks for your time.
No worries.
Have a great day today, and we'll see you the next guys. Eh?
Thank you.
So we're going to see the Lan, who's one of our ward hostesses, and as Martin described says, the staff will come on the shift at 7 o'clock in the morning. We'll pick up an iPad and a dietary requirement sheet to take to the area of work. First thing in the morning, we'll carry out a beverage round and follow that up with getting the patient meal choice for the day, for lunch and supper, before carrying out our first beverage round alongside breakfast. So I'm going to hand over to one of our hostesses, Lana, who will give you an overview of the hostess role.
Lovely.
How are we doing?
Hi.
Hi Lana. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
Lovely. So you're one of our hostesses here at the Grange?
I am.
How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Wicked.
On the children's ward, so yeah, I enjoy that ward.
Lovely. So to anyone that doesn't know what a hostess is, what is your role?
Well, basically that we serve breakfast, lunch and tea. We do tea runs in between and just feed the children or the patients on the ward. So yeah, that's what we do.
Do you do the same ward or do you do different
No,
wards?
I do different wards.
Yeah.
I do a few different wards in my rota, so yeah.
And do you have any favourites? Is there any special
No, not
wards?
really. I like them all.
Yeah.
It's nice to go into different wards and meet different people and get to know different nurses, and sometimes you see the same patient. So yeah.
And so what's your favourite part of the job? What's the best bit?
I'm just meeting the patients really and getting to have a chat, and sometimes meeting the nurses, getting to know them by name, and then you get familiar with everyone, so they know you then, and they call you by your name and what have you. So yeah, it's all good.
I hear hostesses spend quite a lot of time with the patients as well. Is that true?
Yeah, we do if we can, if we're not too busy. You know, it's nice to have a little chat, so and help. Sometimes you're on different wards, you can help them, you know, with their breakfast and stuff like that. So yeah.
And you're often keeping them company and
chatting
to them,
and have a little chat. Yeah, see how they're feeling, and they sometimes tell you how they're feeling and stuff like that. Yeah, so it's really good.
And so what's it like working for Estates and Facilities?
It's really good. I like it. Yeah. I've never worked in a hospital before, and I really enjoy it. So,
how long have you worked here?
Just before we opened, I came. So in the end of October.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Lovely. So you've seen change over time and still enjoying it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Really enjoying it.
Well, cool. Happy Estates and Facilities Day to you.
Yeah. And you.
Wicked. I think we're going to move on, but thanks for your time.
Okay. Thank you.
So we're up on level 4, and we're going to catch up with Kelly, who's one of the domestics, who carry out any general cleans across the ward level, including en suites.
Hi, Carol.
Hello. I'm fine, thank you.
Happy National Healthcare Estates and Facilities Day to you.
It's happy day.
How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you.
And so you're one of our cleaners here at the moment, aren't you?
Yes.
So, tell us a little bit about the role to someone that has no idea what you do.
Right. As we call ourselves hostesses and domestic hostesses, we go into a ward and we prepare the trolley first thing in the morning, and then we go into the ward and there's rooms and corridors. We clean. We first thing in the morning we clean the corridors, and then we first thing, obviously most important, is the toilets. We check all the toilets first thing, and then we empty all the waste and then dispose of the waste in the disposal. And then we go back into our ward, and then we start cleaning the general rooms. So we go into a room, and we go with our blue cloth first, and we go round sink and all around the room to the table. And then when we come out of the room, we change the bags in the 2 bins. Then we mop the room, and then we go to the toilet, the bathroom, and then we use a pink and blue cloth in there. You use a blue cloth again. You start the sink around the room, to the shower room, to the toilet, and then use a big pink cloth for the toilet.
So you can see it's quite a precise thing that you do. It's not just cleaning, as like some people might think. There's a lot more to it, isn't
a lot of people think, oh, it's just a cleaning role, but obviously our role is important to the ward itself, because we have to keep it up to standard.
And you've been here through the pandemic, haven't you?
Yes.
So you've been here for quite a while.
Yes.
And just you've dealt with, so your role has been very essential to making sure that patients, staff, everyone is safe.
That's right. And through the pandemic, obviously every room was a barrier room if they had COVID, and there's a different rules for cleaning that. You have a yellow cloth and a yellow bucket. Don't use this trolley. You have a yellow bucket, a yellow mop, and a yellow cloth.
And you'd be
gowned
up as well,
gowned up, gloved up, and masked up. Obviously, if they were high risk COVID patients, you then would have a different mask, because if they are obviously on I couldn't get the word out there. You have to be prepared for that then. But you wear the long sleeve gowns, right? So your hands double glove, and then you cover up, and then you clean. And then before you come out of the room after cleaning, you strip off in the room, put the stuff in the bag, the waste overalls, and then you wash your hands, and then you leave the room.
So it's quite a long process, isn't it? So to do that for every single thing, isn't it? So you usually have the same ward, wouldn't you?
I'm always on the same ward.
Same ward,
So obviously I got a routine on that ward.
Yeah.
So you get to know the patients individually. Obviously you just don't go into the room and clean. You try and make a conversation, an everyday conversation with the patients, because some patients don't see anybody from week to week. So you get quite of a bond with the patients, actually.
Is that do you find that the most rewarding thing about
Yes, I do, because you get something, they like to see you, and they say, oh, good morning, Kerry, how are you? And then you have a chat, you know? And obviously you do say, oh, how are you? Which, how are you feeling? And obviously they're not feeling well because they're in hospital. So we have a little chuckle about that. But yeah, we do get a very good bond with the patients by being on the same ward all the time.
That's lovely to hear. And do you find how do you find working for estates and facilities? Is it quite a well-knit team? Is it?
Yes, it's a big team. It's a very big team, and we all do our best. We're all trying hard at the moment. It's good.
It's challenging, but we.
I think I've been within the trust now 15 years with facilities, so I think they are doing well.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time. Brilliant to speak to you and to hear about all the things you've been doing.
Yeah, it's nice to speak to you.
Wicked. Okay.
All right.
Awesome.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. So we met Kerry, that was great. And who are we going to meet next?
So we have Mike here, who's part of our boardroom team. Mike's on a rota, but mainly covers the blood through pathology. So I'll hand over to Mike, who will give an overview of that service.
Hi Mike, happy National Healthcare Estates and Facilities Day to you.
Yep.
How are you doing? You doing okay?
Yep, it's doing okay. It's been a good day.
Awesome. And so you're one of our porters here in the Grange, aren't you?
Yeah.
But you're a special porter, aren't you? Because you're very much a
specifically
blood porter,
blood porter at the moment. Yeah.
So to anyone at home, what is a blood porter? What makes that different?
Blood porter is an inside, obviously an in-house porter that would deal with all samples, obviously blood samples and stuff, and obviously we would deal with units of blood going to patients, and obviously the main pinnacle of it would be obviously we get involved with their major hemorrhages, which can be a bit challenging and a bit intense.
Because as a critical care hospital, we might have quite a few at the same time.
Yes, we have a lot. Yeah, we can have them simultaneously as well. So obviously we have to have all porters trained so they can step in and take one. Because when we have a major hemorrhage, I'm designated for that particular hemorrhage. So then someone would have to take the equipment to do, obviously, if the next one comes in.
So it's actually National Blood Donors Week this week, so it's actually quite interesting that we've actually come to meet you actually, because we're talking about blood very much this week, and the importance of it. So do you find is that the most rewarding thing about the role, the fact that you can really do?
For me, yes, it's because obviously the best possible work we can do to obviously give the patient the best care we can and be as quick, obviously, as good as we can at doing the job.
Lovely. Well, you're doing a fantastic job. Thanks for having the time to speak to us.
No, that's great. That's all right.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thanks for joining us today for National Healthcare Estates and Facilities Day. You've already met quite a few of our staff already, but we've actually got a few staff members here that I want you to meet as well. So we've got Lorraine Jenkins here. So she's from with our Care After Death team, which is actually quite a first for Wales, isn't it?
Yes, it is, yeah. So my name is Lorraine, I'm the manager of the Care After Death team. It's an integrated service with a bereavement team and the management of the body stores within the hospital as well.
So it's the first integrated one in Wales, is that right?
Yeah, it's the first fully integrated service in Wales where the jobs are dual bereavement coordinators and mortuary assistants. Yeah.
And so what is it like to work in Care After Death then?
I love it. It's a really important service, so it's an honour to do that for our patients. Our patients are still our patients, whether they're living or whether they're deceased, and we make sure that they have the care and the dignity and respect that our living patients would have, and it's an honour to make sure that we do all that paperwork and wrap that up so they can go on their final journey.
And so it's quite a question, but what's the best part of the job then?
Speaking to families is lovely because you can give them that support that they need, you can signpost them to any bereavement support that they might need. And that's probably the best part. It's the most rewarding part because you know that you're giving them the support that they need and the information that they need. My team are amazing. They love what they do. They're all really passionate, and I'm just really proud to manage a service that does such a good thing and has an amazing team behind it.
So it's only going to grow and grow, isn't it?
It is. So at the moment we're doing fundraising to make sure that we do handprints so we can offer families the handprints and the locks of hair of their families. Some love it, especially if they didn't get to see their loved one. Some not so much, and we're going to offer memory boxes as well. And I think that's just a nice little finish to give families that memory of their loved one that they'll keep forever. So it's going to grow and grow.
Well, thanks, Lorraine. That's great. It's great to see that we've got a great team there looking after patients and relatives here. We've also got Michelle Key here, who actually works with a lot of the team there. You might not necessarily know about, but they're actually really integral to making sure that hospitals work correctly and we're all safe and secure and ready to go. So, hi, Michelle.
Hi, Doug.
How are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, good, thank you.
And so tell me a little bit more about your role. What do you do here?
So my role is service improvement workforce manager. I also manage the divisional business unit, which is based down in St Cadoc's. Part of that team is to process and transact a lot of the back office information via, through workforce. Our systems, making sure everything's recorded in the system accurately to ensure staff get paid correctly, etc. I also have a lot of involvement in the workforce planning for future services, making sure that the workforce is in place to deliver those services and to make sure they're effective as possible.
So these workforces, it's quite different places, isn't it? So there's also general office, there's a thing called DBU, isn't there? So,
yeah.
So it's quite a vast service, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a lot of administration roles within facilities. Should have said I actually manage the ID badge and access for the whole health board, which, as you can imagine, is an onerous task to say the least when everybody needs an ID badge to access our environments. We've also got general office reception, so it's like a signposting for patients, visitors. General office also transact a lot of the Oracle orders. They also obviously bank all our monies from our retail outlets. They frank post, they sort post. There's lots of different tasks really.
So you can see it's quite an important area, isn't it? So I mean, it leads us quite nicely on to the next person we're going to talk to, because ID and badges are really important because it has to be quite a secure environment, doesn't it? So we've also got Jordan here, who is actually one of our security guards at the Grange. Hi, Jordan.
Hi, mate. Yeah, I'm Jordan, one of the security team leads for the Grange.
And so I'm almost looking up to him here, but he's very much keeping us safe and secure all the time, aren't you?
Yeah.
So what? Tell me about being a security guard. What's your day to day?
Day to day is just so that the safety of the hospital and for the patients themselves and the public. We're constantly on the show. Sometimes you may not see us walking around the hospital, but we are ensuring that the hospital is safe at all times.
So you can see it's a very important job, isn't it? And you've been here for quite a while now.
Yeah, I've been here just under 2 years. So not long after the hospital actually opened. There's been massive changes throughout. We're just ensuring that there's always safety on site.
And do you find it quite a rewarding role?
Yeah, it is very rewarding. What is great about it is knowing that after everything that's going on, that people are happy and they are safe, and that's not just for patients, that's staff, and that's for the public as well.
So it's not just being secure, it's also the friendly face.
Yeah, it is, of course. Yeah, it's good liaising with other departments. You know, we'll help out with other facilities roles. We even help out with all general matters. So we like to get stuck in.
Well, thanks, Jordan. That's brilliant. Okay, and so that's, as you can see, it's a very vast and varied division we've got here in Estates and Facilities. Wishing you all a happy National Healthcare Estates and Facilities Day. It's been great to meet all the staff here, and we'll see you soon.